Now, Rock Talk with Mitch Lafon.
We are speaking with Miljenko from SteelHeart. Of course, fans know him as Mili. As we say here in Montreal, bonjour, monsieur. How are you?
What is happening? I like your little vibe there behind you.
You like the pad?
Yeah, you're at the top of the roof there. That's a nice pad there.
It's a nice pad.
I hope you like my tiger.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny because the last episode I did was with Frankie Sullivan of Survivor, and we talked about Eye of the Tiger, and here we are with Eyes of the Tiger.
Right.
Now, before fans look at this and go, what is that going on back there? You take these pictures, right? You're a photographer as well as a rock singer.
Yeah, well, you know, I took it up like few years ago, 5 years ago, because I just I'm traveling all over the world. I go to these amazing places. So I was like, you know, I better start taking some serious photos. And I had a knack to it. I love it. I have fun with it. And I get some really intense photos. I mean, look at this guy behind me. Look at this.
So where was that taken?
Believe it or not, the LA Zoo.
All right, let's go back and tell us about how you were in the Serengeti and you were on your stomach crawling through the brush. Let's make it a bit more. So you're at the zoo and you got a picture of this tiger.
But I got this other photo. This one other photo that is actually so amazing. I can't show it yet because I'm telling you, it's going to be one of the most famous photos in the world. It is hilarious, and it's about two chimpanzees, and I'll put it out there at some point. I promise you, it's insanely hilarious.
Oh, I'm sure, with chimpanzees doing what they do. Just quickly, in terms of the photography, though, is it part of your professional career? Do you get paid to do cover shoots or shoot wildlife or anything like that?
No, I haven't done that. What I'm going to do is I've got about this point, I think I got almost 3 gigs worth of photos throughout the world, and I'll make a book. I'm going to make a book at some point, you know, a website and a nice book and photos available, because there's just stuff that, you know, you can't shoot unless you go there. You know what I mean? And some of the places I've been to all over the world is just breathtaking, and I'm lucky I was able to do it, you know? So why not bring it home and to give it to the world too? Oh, I lost you, brother. I can't hear you.
There you go. Well, it helps if I don't actually hit the mute button, which I just did accidentally. Yeah. But hey, it's a professional show. But quickly, let's talk about you in other places of the world. You've done a performance for Korean TV that had 60,000 people in the state. I mean, it was a massive thing. You've always done well in Asia. Talk to me about the influence that you, Mili, and of course SteelHeart have in Asia.
You know, it's crazy. Our first success was in Japan, and when we got signed, the United States, the label didn't, MCA didn't put the record out, didn't do anything, and Japan, it just blew up. I mean, the song "She's Gone" just went over the top, and so we ended up going there first. And that was the snowball effect kind of thing, you know. Then from there, we went to Korea, Indonesia, Malaysia, Taiwan, Taipei, Hong Kong. I mean, it just kept going and going. And the people just really connected with the music and the band, especially the song "She's Gone." I mean, the song is so powerful and beautiful. Thank you, you know. But in Korea, it's still the #1 karaoke song, and one of the number one international songs since 1981 and 1889. Sorry.
Wow, that's great. It's amazing. And by the way, you know, you saw me snicker a little bit at the thought of karaoke, but for a lot of artists, that's a big money maker because their rights keep going with those songs, right?
It's a big deal. It's a big deal, you know, having karaoke, and now in the United States, it's really picking up, you know, because let's say in Korea, they do a lot of karaoke. And now, like here in LA, there's like a bunch of karaoke clubs and stuff you can go to. And it's a lot of fun. You know, I mean, people really enjoy, and people who try singing my songs, it's awesome. You know what I mean? So it's like
you won't say that if you hear me doing your song. Trust me.
Hey, I don't care. I don't care if you're good or bad. It's all about the energy
It's
and
about the vibe.
and and the love that you put into it. That's all it is. So.
You mentioned every rock artist's favorite 3 letters, MCA, the place where all bands went to die, basically, right?
Thanks.
no, but talk to me about that.
I'm alive.
Talk to me about MCA, because when you were on Warner, they let you breathe. They let you go. In the 80s, when you were on Geffen, there was all kinds of stuff going on. MCA didn't really understand rock, right? I mean, talk to me about some of the frustrations and of course, maybe some of the joys. We don't have to be all negative. But what did they do right and what did they do wrong? So the short list first and then the long list after.
Right. Well, I guess the short list would be, let's say, we made this record and we thought, of course, every artist thinks it's the shit, it's going to be the best thing since sliced bread. But you know what? It was fucking good. It was done well. It was full on heart, power, the whole thing. And what did they do? They put it up on the shelf. They just didn't do anything with it. They just let it sit there and sit there and sit there. And then I have to give it to my old manager. He just said, you know what? Fuck this. We're going to Asia. So, like I said, soon as we heard there was such an amazing influence, the song "She's Gone," Masa Ito, who was a
I know Masa, brilliant,
Masa,
yeah.
So Masa played it on his radio show, and he got over 2,500 phone calls. Literally, that's what he said to me. I know it's crazy, and it just exploded, And so we went over there. So when we went to Asia and we started really blowing up in Asia, MCA went, wait a minute, we got to think about this. So then they started talking, but it didn't happen until Salt Lake City, a DJ in Salt Lake City put the song out late night, Angel Eyes, I'll Never Let You Go. He started playing it late night, and somehow it creeped up to #1 on the station. And when that went to #1, then it spread like wildflower. That's when it happened.
Wow.
And then MCA went, oh, well, we got something now.
Yes. Oh, hey, you're our favorite new guy. Look at you. Yeah, and just real quick on Masa Ito, for anybody who buys like Japanese import CDs, he does a lot of the texts and the writing and the translation of the lyrics. He's like the guy who does all that stuff. So, of course I know him. You see that name all the time. And Udo. And always Mr. Udo. That's the other big one, right?
Well, I think Udo's retired, and he's had, Udo had this amazing restaurant that everybody always went to after the shows, you know what I mean? And, man, shit, those were some good old days, I got to tell you. Good old days. Yeah, I know.
I've still never been to Japan. That is still on my bucket list of things to check off, but
wow,
we're not allowed to fly right now. We're not allowed to fly, but someday.
Well, let's say the next time I go to Japan, maybe I'll figure out a way to take you.
Yeah, we'll put a little tour together. So, okay, just real quick about touring and stuff. We were supposed to see each other in May in Maryland at the terrific M3 Rock Festival. There was going to be LA Guns there. There was going to be, I'm trying to think who else was on the bill. I'm forgetting all. Anyway, there was a whole bunch of bands. It didn't happen. Talk to me a little bit about that disappointment and where do you see live performing going right now? Because it seems to me that if you're an arena act or a stadium act, forget 2020, 2021. You're looking at 2022. If you're a theater act or a club act, you're probably looking at 2021. But that's if the club and the theater still exists. So you're sort of damned if you do and damned if you don't. Where do you see it going?
Well, what really sucks is the artist keeps getting, keeps getting the shit out of the stick. You know what I mean? It's like first they steal our songs. Now they steal our music. Then, now they're taking our live stuff. And I mean, not them, but, life, however you want to look at it. And it's crazy. I think where it's going, first of all, a lot of this Zoom and this live stuff on the internet is happening, and it's not the same, but it's at least something, there are venues out there that are smaller sheds, like from 3 to 5,000 people, which I think will open up, will be okay, and I think that's what it's going to be. So even the bigger acts, I think, can play those smaller places, but just going to have to charge a bit more. That's the only way. The only way we can do it. You know what I'm saying? Or everyone's going to have to take a hit. That's the only thing. The only way we can move forward. We just got to keep doing what we can do.
What we can do. And on the bright side, artists are somewhat lucky in the sense that you can do a live stream concert, you can do this kind of stuff. People in the movie and TV industry that can't get filming done and can't fly off to whatever Africa to film the next big whatever movie, you can't live stream the next Marvel movie. You can't live stream the next, Blue Bloods TV episode. So it's just like, wow, what are they going to do? It's a mess.
Yeah. Well, I'm here at the lot. My studio is at the lot. This is where Showtime is, the Formosa group, Oprah's here, and it's his old studios. Frank Sinatra did 7 albums here. I mean, it's a really old, amazing studio space. And literally just, I think yesterday, I'm starting to see movement. Some of the stages are opening up, so they're starting to bring in the TV shows and all that. Showtime after that building is completely empty still. So maybe in November they'll come back.
Wow. So
but it's been pretty intense.
And pretty quiet.
It's crazy. It's been me and the guards for the last 7 months, which I'm fine with anyway, So
yeah, who can't use a little peace and quiet? Let's talk about the recent single earlier this, on July 3rd, actually. You released My Freedom, the acoustic version. Talk to me about that song and releasing that, and sort of also, what do you see moving forward in terms of releases? Do you go back to Through the Worlds of Stardust and pick out some other songs and do some lockdown videos kind of thing? Or was this sort of a one and done and now I'm moving forward?
I think this is a one and done and moving forward. Right now, My Freedom the lyrics are so powerful. And I'm sitting there I'm in bed and every night it's just like beating on me. I just want to breathe. I don't want to die no more. Freedom is all I'm asking for. I mean, shit, we're all saying that right now. I definitely am. And I wrote the song in 2005, I think, or 6, something like that.
2006.
And it was 6, yeah. And it was on the last album as a full on band. And honestly, I like it better acoustic. You know what I mean? It's just more raw. It gives you more of the grit and the story, should I say? And then the video that we made, I wanted to show the stillness of Los Angeles. It was empty. It was still, and I wanted to show that in the video. It's just me performing, on top of a rooftop, which is a friend of mine, Neil Zlozauer. Neil,
the photographer. Yes. Yeah. So he's a friend of yours?
He's family. Yeah.
Good. So you'll be setting up an interview with me, because I would love to get Neil and what's his name? The guy who does all the stuff for Metallica and Def Leppard.
Hoffman.
Yeah, all of them. I find the story of those photographers fascinating because, and I know this is an aside, but you guys did the music, you guys did the shows, but they captured the images that us fans visualized and went, look at them. Ross Halflin, yeah, and those are the images. So you guys did the shows and you put on the stuff, but they captured the moments. You know what I mean? Right. So I find that fascinating.
No, absolutely. I will tell Neil today. Maybe I'll speak to him. I'll tell him to give you a call. Or you give him a call.
I will give him a call. Now, in terms of music, you say that My Freedom has more power, or it's more powerful being an acoustic thing. Is that sort of how you approach songwriting in general, whether it's I'll Never Let You Go or She's Gone? Does it have to sound good with voice and acoustic or voice and piano?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. I mean, every song I wrote, you know what? I got to tell you, the Good to Be Alive album that I wrote, that was supposed to be all acoustic. And it was supposed to be done. And the songs are amazing acoustic. And look, when you write a song, the minute you play, if you play the song, if you just don't even sing, okay, and just play the music and it sounds like a hit, it's a hit. It'll sound great. You know, the rest of it, you just start fucking it up, actually. When you start putting, you know, guitars and bells and whistles and this and that, you know what I'm saying? So, yes, you got to start off with just acoustic guitar. And if your song sounds good there, like that, then it'll sound good with, you know, the rest of the band.
It'll sound good anywhere. Now, the one thing I've always noticed from you over the last 20 years is you're very much into making the perfect song and making the perfect music and having the perfect message. Talk to me about that time where you went and sang for the Doors, because all of a sudden now, it's not your songs, it's not your vision, it's get on the stage and sing Light My Fire. Was that rewarding because it's the Doors, or was that frustrating because it's not your vision?
No, that was fantastic. Okay. That was amazing. I did not expect that. It's funny because I had a vision. I was going to do something, and I was going to do something completely different than what I was you know, in tune with what my style is. And I knew this. And then I had a meeting. I was looking for a new manager, and I had a meeting with Tom, and he said, during lunch, he goes, you know, I manage this band, you know, they're pretty famous. They sold like over 80 million records, and we're looking for a singer. And I think you could probably do it. I think you'd do a good job. Would you have any interest, you know, in auditioning? And I said, well, who's the band? I said, well, the Doors with Robbie and Ray. And I was like, okay. And then immediately it was like, there it is. There it is, the side trick, you know? And with me, you got to remember, I grew up with Van Halen, Led Zeppelin, you know, all of that energy. So the Doors was something completely different for me. And when I went, he goes, why don't you learn these songs, you know? So I went home, and I'll never forget. I mean, I'm just listening. I mean, of course I know the songs, but I don't know how to sing them. I don't know the words really. I just know of them, you know? And when I really, really looked deep, it was amazing. I really connected with the energy. I really connected with Jim. You know, I had such amazing moments in the studio by myself when I finally, when I finally fell in, or being accepted, when I was accepted into the energy space from the spirits, the gods, however you guys want to look at it, but that's how it happens to me. And when I did that, and I was sitting there in tears. I was just like, fuck yeah, I got this. I'm meant to do this. I went to do the audition and flew to LA. Okay. It was funny because it was like a bunch of people outside, you know. I went, I sang one song. It's like, all right, great. Let's sing another song. Sang another. Hey, can you do another one? Then I ended up learning like 8 songs, you know. We banged out 8 songs. It was like, yeah, auditions are over. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's the way it should be. Yeah. Let me ask you this, because you did grow up on Led Zeppelin. That is the one where you've talked about that has changed everything, right? You were doing sort of like show tunes before from your dad. Yeah. But just back on the Doors, though, when you go in and you hear that, does it inspire you in the sense that you're hearing sounds that maybe you're not used to, or they're organizing songs maybe in a different way? How does that affect you musically?
It's amazing.
Right.
Amazing. It is. Yeah. Again, it's all about, you know, falling into their energy space. It's, you know, the energy and the spirits that are around them, and that they connected with, and their sound and their spirits. And for me to be invited into that, that's a gift. That is special. That is special. Same thing I was invited into doing the movie Rockstar. It's the same concept, you know, and it's not just another gig, you know, that I go up and just sing, you know, I'm just doing a gig and getting a paycheck. No. It is spiritual. It is powerful. It is learning. It is life. It is a journey. It is a gift.
It really is. So you grow up listening to John Denver and Johnny Cash, and then suddenly Led Zeppelin comes into your life. First of all, how was that introduced to you, and what do they mean to you?
You know, it was interesting because it was introduced to me by this drummer. I think he was like already 14 or something like that. Damiano Ferretta, his name was, right? And he was this Italian guy, and I mean, he was legit Italian too, you know. And we had this band, and well, we didn't have the band. He started coming around, and then he goes, listen to this band. And the minute I heard Plant go, you know, hey mom, is that the way you move? I was like, fuck me, I'm fucked. You know what I mean? I knew it was like over. I was like, now don't get me wrong, I love Johnny Cash, I love that, but my spirit and my energy, you know, my fire, it just went like bam. It was like it just took me. I totally could see and understand that energy, and that was a very, very special spiritual space.
It was.
Yeah.
So let me. You mentioned the movie Rockstar. A lot of great songs came from that. A lot of great soundtracks. Rock fans love the movie. It's a great tale, and you've got Jeff Pilson, and you've got Zakk Wylde, and you've got all these guys coming in and out. Have you at some point thought of maybe getting these guys together and playing some actual shows and say, hey, you know what? Let's not be make-believe in a movie. Let's be real.
Yep. Yes.
So.
And legit. And I could talk a bit about it. Yes, it's all in the works. All how would I say, on the
books.
Butcher block.
Yeah.
On the books. Except pandemic came in and blew it out of the water, straight up. So fingers crossed, maybe next year. But this year, it would have happened this year.
And I'll admit, I knew that before I asked the question. I just wanted you to talk about it. But the plan was to go out, I think, in June, if I'm not May or June, and do like a dozen shows. And
no, we were just gonna have some fun and do one, and see how it, you know, just have some fun. You know what I mean? And everybody was so great and excited, and then, you know, like I said, the pandemic happened, and it really just locked everything down. And you know, it's still there, it's still in the conversation. But again, you know, when the pandemic's over, then you have timing. You got to remember, everybody's, you know, touring all over the world, so putting that together is difficult. But I hope it can come together. You know, I'd love to share the stage with those guys and have some fun. I think the world will like it. So.
I think it would be great, and you know, get a concert video or do a live stream, whatever it is, to capture it. Don't just, you know, you don't just do it like in a cornfield in Iowa and then nobody sees it. You gotta play it and then let everybody get it. Can I ask you who was going to be involved, or is that off the record? Okay.
There's only one person that would be possibly not be able to do it.
So we will move along then.
But Zakk and I would be. So
that would be great.
Yeah.
And you know, hopefully Eric Baker over at M3 is listening to this, because that would be a great place to premiere it on a big stage. You know, that would, anyway, whatever. Yeah. Let us move on. We haven't, you know, we've done interviews over the years. I haven't spent much time talking about this, but I do want to ask you about, of course, the accident in Denver. You put up the video on, let me
YouTube.
See. Yeah, on the Miljenko official YouTube page, and I have it in front of me. And I had actually never seen it until earlier today. I've heard about it, and I had. First of all, putting it up there and letting fans see it, is that, and this is going to sound very like a psychologist, but is that somewhat therapeutic, just to share it and just let it out instead of having it as some deep thoughts in your head? Just go, okay, you know what? Here, go see what happened. Yeah. Now you'll understand. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, I'm a true believer to, you know, be open about things, you know, and, you know, let's face it. I mean, I got my ass kicked on that stage. You know, that was serious. And, you know, going from the band was doing so well to complete darkness, you know, it, you know, threw a lot of people off. and they just thought whatever happened to them, they just died, or the band sucked or something. You know what I mean? They didn't even know about the accident. And it's okay for me to show it. People really think, oh my, is it really traumatizing for you to watch that? And it's not. It's, I went through a lot. I lost a lot of memory. I was in a fog for years, and I went through a difficult time, but I kept going and I kept fighting and I kept believing, and I just, started building my brain cells back, or whatever the hell I did, and I'm here. I'm clearer than ever. I am more focused than ever, and I am probably happier than ever. So
yeah,
I don't recommend anyone going through it.
Yeah. Where do we sign up now? Let me just ask you one quick thing about the video that I didn't seem to understand, because I watched the video. You see the truss fall, and then afterward you see some band member sort of tearing the stage apart and throwing, speaker stacks. And was that you?
No, that was Jimmy. That
okay,
was the bass player.
Okay, so
I was on the ground.
Well, that's what I didn't understand, because the video is shot at a distance, because it was probably a bootleg video or something. So you were on. So what was going on where he was? Why was he doing that? Was that part of the show, or was he literally frustrated that you were crushed?
No, he lost his shit. He just lost his shit.
Okay.
Yeah, he knew. He knew that was like, the beginning of an end of something. You know what I'm saying? It was, he just, and Jimmy and I had a really close relationship. We wrote a bunch of songs together. So when he saw that, he's playing bass and watched this thing hit me directly in the back of the head, which, by the way, cracked my head open. I had 32, 40 stitches. I don't know, like really cracked my head open, broke my nose, my cheekbone, my jaw, twisted my back, my hip, my knee. I'm feeling my knee now, even, the later years. And I think that's what's from that accident.
Yeah, probably.
And
has he reached out? Do you still talk to him? Have you sort of come to terms with it, where you've said, okay, let's talk about this incident, let's get our feelings out? Because there is a very clear display of emotion going on.
Yeah. No, I spoke to Jimmy not long ago, and I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. So I'm in contact with him, and Frank, Johnny passed away, as we know, sadly. Chris is having some health issues, and he's kind of just tucked away in Florida. So, respect to all of them. You know what I mean? And,
yeah, and so then I'll ask you this. When you decided to move forward with SteelHeart and get new guys in there, was that something that was difficult to do? Did they give you your blessing, or was it just like, you know what? It can't end on October 31st, 19, whatever it was. I have to move this truck forward.
Yeah, no, I again, look, that accident was something that built me into another man. You know what I mean? Into a whole nother level of understanding, or whatever I got to do. But the one thing I always knew is I gotta keep going. I belong there. Now, for all the right reasons, not for being cocky. I want to be Mr., rock star. Hey, it's me. No. That's who I am,
Well, since we're talking about Mr. Rockstar, you want to change the tiger back to the picture of your car?
No.
No, I'm kidding. But it's great to see that you got through it. Obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but I'm assuming there were some emotional scars, there were some frustrations, there was obviously some physiotherapy and stuff. So to come back from that, yeah.
Goulash. Are you kidding me? I got a quick story. I literally did not know what the hell I was doing. I'd find myself driving like 4 hours in a car, and then wake up while I'm driving, basically find out I'm in Boston from, driving from
Philly or whatever, right?
From Norwalk, So it's like, holy shit, stuff like that. And I would do stuff, and then I would forget stuff, and my family was like, he's fine. He's just, he's just shot. The rock star is shot. It's like, well, wait a minute. I didn't do drugs. I didn't, drink. I'm like, well, what do you mean shot? obviously there's something else going on until I met this one neuropsychologist. And I went in there to talk to her, and she goes, just talk. And I started talking, and she goes, oh, wait a minute, you do drugs? I go, no, I don't do drugs. She goes, all right, keep talking. Let's keep talking. She goes, wait, have you done a LSD? I'm like, no, I've never done LSD. She goes, all right, keep talking. She goes, you smoke weed? I go, once in a blue moon I'll smoke some weed. Yeah, but I don't really smoke, She goes, and she could keep talking. She goes, oh, wait, did you get hit in the head? I go, yeah, I did. I was just getting to that. She goes, okay, let me explain to you what's going on. So she was the only person that was able to tell me what was going on with my mind. When I knew that, so this is the kind of thing is like, any situation that you're in, if you understand the situation, then you're no longer scared. You're free. Okay, the fear is gone. Everything's gone. Now you can start thinking about how to fix yourself or how to help yourself because you know the damages. And that really helped me. And I started doing so many things, writing down things, and it was a fight. I got to tell you, it is literally, and I know people who have TBI and head injuries. I mean, my heart to you, because it is so challenging. It's sometimes it's like having Alzheimer's, you know what I mean? At an early age, it's crazy, So anyway, that was my big story.
There you go. Yeah, and it's true. Sometimes part of recovery is understanding what's going on. And they talk about that, when you talk about drug addicts and alcoholics, it's about admitting you have the problem, and then you can move forward. And same times with the injury, you can say, okay, this is what's going on with my head. So now, anyway, a lot of great psychology there. But on that, always a pleasure, as we say in Montreal. Toujours un plaisir. Thank you. Merci.
You're welcome.
And we shall do this again soon, and certainly, hopefully, at M3 in person next year, if we're allowed. I don't even know. I don't even know if I'm allowed to fly into your country at this point. All the borders are closed. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. They got Canada and Mexico is kind of like cut off.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll be back. You'll be back. Come on.
Yeah, it's all right. We'll send you some maple syrup, and you can grab some tacos. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Let me stop the recording.